Just as Nigerians are adjusting to the harsh reality of the hike in energy costs, ranging from price of diesel, aviation fuel scarcity, to the stop tool increment in electricity tariff, the recent rise again of the price of liquefied, that's LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, and popularly known as cooking gas. Yes, that's all we mostly call it, LPG, has been greeted with great lamentation. LPG has been clean energy steadily being embraced by low-income earning Nigerians in the last 7 years, against previous years when it was seen as preserved for the rich. Of the rich. According to the report, the cost of the commodity has been on increase in the last 2 weeks, as the price of average size 12.5 kg cylinder is now being sold at 8,500 from 7,500 2 weeks ago in Lagos and neighboring states. This worrisome development has continued to rise, on basis. It has continued to go ahead. We're just on this high side on daily basis for weeks, and it's escalating at the moment. Well, let's understand what is responsible for this and all of the developments across the sector. I introduced him earlier. He is the national president of the Nigerian Association of Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers. He's live in the studio, Mr. Olatubosun Oladakpo. It's good to have you again in the studio. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. Let me allow you tell us. The last time we had you on set to talk about this, it was really, I think above 10,000 at that time. At the moment, it was a little bit of respite because I was so happy the day I rushed to buy that day when I saw the price. What is real true picture of things at the moment?
Okay, thank you. The last time we had an hike in the price, yes. The factor that led to that was some other economic factors. We talk about import duty and some other, and we cry loud. That particular time, we complained to government, and interestingly, government heard us loud and clear, and they took steps. At that particular time, what government was looking at is to meet the challenge of hiking price from supply angle, which is very reasonable, because when you boost supply, you make it available, yes. And when it is available, there may no need for you to go and import from other countries, because the price then had a lot of import content, yes, price, which made the price to be high. So government in their own wisdom believe that they can attack this problem from supply angle, and they are trying to see how investor could come to invest in exploration. That's on a long-term solution. On a mid-term solution, they try to lobby NLNG. NLNG is the largest producer of LPG in Nigeria today. Yes. There are some other smaller producers too, but not as volume that NLNG produces. And government successfully lobbied them to the point that NLNG has agreed that all their butane will be meant for domestic products. And they also boost supply through a kind of combination of mix, so that the volume can go up and gas will be available. Fantastic, it actually worked. And in fairness, since that NLNG give that commitment, they have not relented on it. They are meeting their supplies in Lagos and Port Harcourt regularly. And you will see at that particular price of 20 tons that used to be sold around 12 million then came down to about 9.1 million. And that is when you witness the price coming down to 6,000 plus, 6,500, thereabouts. And we are enjoying it. Suddenly, with what happened in the economy now, and it's globally, it's worldwide, the Ukraine and USSR war has its own impact on it, and in natural sense contributed to the kind of hike we are seeing here. The role of middlemen also come to play, but essentially, like other products, it's not only gas that the price went up now. Virtually all the products. There's nothing you buy now that when you go there that you meet at the same price. Most of the things we use to get this gas has also gone up. To transport gas from terminal down to the plant now, it costs more than double with the rise of AGO. I mean, this is being sold for 700 naira per liter now. If you hire a truck that normally take you about 180,000, 200,000, a truck now from Lagos to Ibadan takes about 350,000. Imagine you are taking to Akwere, you are taking to Abuja, you are taking to Benin. A truck from Lagos to Abuja that convey 20 tons LPG now takes as high as 850,000. That's close to a million. And there's another cost. By the time you had all those ones, the landing cost is there. Even the cost of buying at the depot has also gone up. Don't forget that majority of these plants also have their overheads. And they are going. And with the problem we have in Ukraine, where everybody in the Western world tries to boycott supplies from just Russia, they now focus a particular point to buy. Now the demand there may wave the price up. And that was witnessed the first week of the war. Now the Mount Belvieu price came down slightly. If Mount Belvieu price came down slightly now, and the other costs, other overheads are not going up, we will have witnessed a fall in price. But Mount Belvieu price came down slightly. Still, the overheads are there. These are the running costs. And by the time you come to template, your cost of landing cost will be extremely high. So the appeal is that it's not only gas that is going up, everything that's associated to energy in Nigeria is going up. We are talking of collapse here, we are talking of AGU, we are talking of petrol, everything is going up, and cost of running them is also going up. That is what we are witnessing here. So the appeal is that particular to the consumer, to the consumer, I can feel them. People come to plan now to buy as little as 1 kg, 2 kg. That's to tell you about the economic power.
Wow, you can't even feel
you can't feel how poor Nigerians are. And it has also affected the demand.
Yeah, demand will definitely drop if it's so
The total demand has come down now. Last month, we lost about 338,000 in terms of total usage, what we consume in a month. If you compare it, January to February to March, it's reducing. What therefore means that usage is reducing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there hasn't been a viable alternative now because kerosene is also a no-go area. So what people need to decide to do now is to reduce what they buy. They buy as you go. So they now buy 2 kg, 3 kg. When that one finishes, you go back. You go back and buy. It also has accumulative high price. Cost of running plant is also, because when I switch on my generator, the energy and the labor I need to fill 1 kg is the same thing I used to fill 12.5. So the overhead goes up. So it's not going to be a permanent situation. I believe by the grace of God Almighty, the war in Ukraine will go down.
Yes, sir.
And the normalcy will come back into the whole world. The crude oil price will become stable, and all other factors will become stable. Then we can finish. What government has done in terms of improving our supply. If there hasn't been destruction in terms of the war and some other things, then we'll have been feeling the impact more. We started feeling it. The price came down, and it will still go down immediately around. The only appeal is also to other middlemen. What I mean by middlemen, people that interplay in the market. It's a distribution chain. There are a lot of people interplay in the market. Everybody actually wants to maximize profit, but this is not the time of maximizing profit. All Nigerians are feeling the hardship. Let's be realistic. Let's develop the market. By the time we develop the market and make it affordable, the market will grow. And when it grows, we both enjoy it. But if we take profiteering to be a lead now, the market will suffer. And what is the essence of all the storage and everything, mighty constructions, facility that we put in place? Then the market will also not be attractive to other people that want to invest, because they have to take data and statistics. What is purchasing power of these people? How many people are buying? What percentage? If I'm coming from America to invest, I will look at your sales report. If I see it's declining, I will not be too anxious to come. I will say what is happening. But if I see it's growing and I look at your population, I say yes, I can make headway in that economy. Let me go there. So we all need to develop and protect the industry. Let us sacrifice this time around, and particularly the terminal owners. We need to sacrifice. I know the cost of running the terminal is extremely high, but we need to defend the industry first. When we defend the industry, we encourage consumption, we will gain whatever we must have lost. This situation is not going to be a permanent situation. It's going to be improved over time, and we are going to get out of it.
Very good words there from the national president. But I want to ask, because we talked about this national gas expansion program at the time, and it interests me to talk about this. Funded by the central bank, now about 250 billion is put aside for this. With all of this, do we have the infrastructure to even move on with the actualization of schemes like this?
You see, the 250 billion was a scheme that anybody in gas business can access for expansion. There's a difference between earmark and disbursements. Out of 250 million, how much has been utilized? And you know it's not automatic. You must come with a proposal. And the CBN will look at feasibility of what you are doing, how profitable it is, ability to repay them back, because it's not a free money. It also comes with a reasonable interest. So you must justify the need for it. That is one side. It's just to promote expansion, but to a limit extent. Because we have huge gap infrastructurally in gas. Huge gap. We can go into exploration. If you go into exploration, it's a lot of money. Over the year when we were investing in oil and gas, we were investing on refinery production of PMS, AGO. There was little investment in gas. That is why we are flaring gas. We were not, our eyes were not open on the potentials and the business opportunity in LPG. So the gas have been produced, but we burn it away because we thought it was no money. Meanwhile, it is money we are burning. Now that eyes has opened, it comes with a lot of cost now. To put the infrastructure in place is very huge. It's beyond what 250 million can do. But 250 billion is to enhance the working capital, enhance the micro expansion. You want to build plant, you want to build storage. That is what that one can do. But want to go into exploration, you need capital. What we used to build NLG then, we can that amount times 10 cannot build a one today because of cost of things are going up. So there's huge gap, and we need to get foreign investors to come into exploration. By the time foreign investors come into exploration, we have huge deposit of gas. By the time we exploit and we produce gas, then we have enough to use in the country, then we export, and we have more money. But now the exploration is ridiculously low. Government is trying their best to encourage people to come. Now they've just given the mandate to an agency of government to ensure that they produce 10% of total consumption. That will not be immediate. It takes time. There's a time lag for all this one. So with that kind of roadmap, if it's being followed and we actually carry it out, in the next 5 years thereabout, there may be a sort of boost in the exploration, and there will be more supply of gas, and by that time, yes, controlling our population and everything, we may be able to meet local demand. And by the time we have refineries, either a refinery come up or a new state come up and they are producing gas, then we may be meeting local demand. Currently now, we are not meeting local demand. We need to supplement it with importation. It will have been a much more crisis if demand has not reduced, because there's a fall in demand. So with the boost that NLG has done and their regular supply, we are able to meet it now. Don't forget that the forest is not available.
Yes, I wanted to say that the impact of forex is also there, and the value of the naira.
It's not available. But why it hasn't been much crisis now is that as of today, about 70% of total consumption is being met locally. With the increase in energy, the energy is regular, and they've built supply by count of combination, count of mix ratio. They did with that as improved supply. Then the all other molecules being produced in Nigeria, but then you add that together, and the falling demand level, now we are able to meet about 70%. If demand had gone to the level we projected, then we do not find choice to do a massive importation. So we pray demand should go up, because every Nigerian need to to cook through LPG. Is the safest, is the cleanest way. It's most healthy way to clean, as the way to go. All other alternative as of today is not good. So the best way is to adopt it, and the best way is for economy to grow and for people's purse to be well funded so that they can afford it. By the time that is in place, the demand will go up, and we must work on exploration so that in few years' time we should be able to meet our local need.
Local need, domesticating it is really the way to go. Now, there was a time there was also an introduction of 7.5 import tax, or was it value added tax? We're saying we want to improve or promote the use of LPG, and we are introducing this all in a bid to raise more revenue for government. How did this affect the business?
Well, it affects business, but let's look into two ways.
Okay.
To fund government, you need money. To run,
yeah, true.
You need money. And you must know how do you source your money. It's either you produce or you levy. When you produce, that you invest. You get as much of dividends as some other thing coming in. Or if that is not working, then you levy. Now, that means you have to levy. And that is why you see a lot of taxes are coming up now. There's a tax on carbonates. For every bottle of carbonate you are taking now, you are paying 10 naira thereabout. Yeah. There are a lot of other things. These are the ways government want to use to make sure they put money together to run the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the ways to source for money is also to say VAT on LPG. The best approach is to be self-sufficient, produce locally. If there hadn't been gap in the exploration, we would not have felt the impact of that 7.5.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we had abundant deposits. But because we are not producing locally, if we had been producing locally, there's no need for us to go and develop other countries' economy by importing from them. But we are not doing that, then we need to source. So in an attempt to source, government also need to see a way to balance it. So to cushion that effect, that is why government is now attacking the problem through supply corridor. That let there be local supply. If there's local supply, if we boost local supply, there will be little demand, the impact of the VAT will be reduced. It's still there. On the pronouncement of government is still there about VAT for LPG, it is a thing that you may not actually counter them on that. The only way is to make sure that we boost local production. When we boost local production, then we don't need to import. Then I won't need to pay any VAT.
President, national president, if we improve domestic production, is it going to affect pricing one way or the other?
Certainly.
Beautiful.
If you improve on domestic production, number one, there are some costs that associated with
that will now be eliminated automatically.
It's just similar to what we are having with PMS. I don't need a vessel. I don't need to pay VAT if I produce locally. But production of LPG locally is not just it's not just immediate.
It's a process.
It's a process. Because it's a process that has its own time. Look at NLNG now. They are working on Train 7.
Yeah, Train 7.
The Train 7 has some years to complete because it's a sophisticated process. It's high-tech.
You can't jump.
You know, it's high-tech. It's a very delicate, and you must be very meticulous and very capital-intensive. Most of the equipment you are going to bring from other country. And the expertise and everything to assemble it is a lot of things. And you know, a lot of factors in this country. Meeting local demand, let's say think of projection in about 5 years' time. If we go on the roadmap that the government has set, because government is trying to encourage investors not to come into exploration. I'm aware that a lot of people are signifying intention, and government trying to support them. They are also supporting an agency, giving them a matching order, ensure you produce 10% of total consumption. If you add on to the existing one, it's something to go.
So before we talk almost finally, government also wants to end burning of gas, looking at all of this climate change thing and the 2030 UN and all of the directives. Do you think we can stop gas flaring as soon as there have been years we've been reprojecting and of course, what is your message? That's after that question. It's a 2-in-1 question so that we could wrap up on that note. What's your message to your members at this time? The pressure is really high, and of course to Nigerians, we consumers.
Thank you. Let me talk about flaring gas. You see, problem we are seeing today are the gaps that have been created
before now,
years back. By the time we started exploring oil, the focus then was the crude oil, the black gold, and just to refine it, turn it to petroleum products, AGO, and we were flaring gas because we never believed that this community will need gas. So there was no infrastructure into that area. All of a sudden, civilization awareness comes in. We now realize that we are sitting on the gold, that gas enough to sustain the economy. Meanwhile, there's no infrastructure to tap on that. We need to go back and put infrastructure in place. That infrastructure is lacking. So if we have right infrastructure, we stop flaring gas and we convert into money. no government is happy burning what you can turn to money, but when you lack capacity, infrastructure to turn into a finishing product, then you suffer that one. So with kind of technology that is coming now and the kind of investment, I think over time we will stop that. At Glasgow, in Scotland, when they had a meeting, the pronouncement there was that they are going to stop flaring gas and that the combustion should be reduced.
Yeah.
Everybody is going to greener energy.
Green energy.
Look at Africa, the way we are. Africans are just getting on their on their legs, peaks of pursuit of crude oil.
Exactly.
The other world is moving ahead. They are not waiting for us. And that gap has been created over the year. We can't beat it in short time.
Yeah.
So I cannot say we are going to stop flaring immediately, but we must work towards it immediately. The economy, climatic challenges are real.
Yes.
If you go there, you will see it is actually true. But we are lucky this side of what we are. We don't see much of impact here. But it's actually happening here. So the best way is that in the long run, we should be able to stop it. But to do that depends on availability of infrastructure to convert this into real money.
So your message?
Now, my message to member, let me say for message to the general public.
Yes, please.
I appreciate and I know what everybody is passing through. It's tough. You can't cook through kerosene. Charcoal is not coming easy. Then gas is also has gone up. This period is not going to be forever. As a businessman too, we are not enjoying it because returns has reduced, patronage has reduced, we are not enjoying it. But we believe there's an end towards this. Let every Nigerian please just persevere. By the grace of God Almighty, the problem in the Western world, in Europe, we go down. With things government is putting in place, boosting the supply, the price will still come down. So for my members, it is tough. Because with the cost of running, to run your generator now, you pay heavily.
Yes.
And you can't pass it to customers. See somebody that brought a 12.5 kg and say you want to feed 2 kg. 2. Certainly the next tomorrow is coming. But we can't pass the cost to them. We are actually passing through a tough time. But I know it's not going to be like that forever. Let us keep our hands crossed. Let's encourage meeting at local level so that we can determine how to do the pricing that will make us sustain our business. We need to exchange ideas. We need to meet regularly and determine what can keep us afloat. At this time, it's important to remain afloat in the business, and that is my appeal to my member. We must work as one. We must work hand in hand and make sure that it's not time to run somebody out of business. It's not time to say, I want to get customer, I'm selling. No, it doesn't pay anybody. We must come and speak the same language and maintain sanity in the market and ensure everybody remain afloat. Mr.
Olatubosun Oladapo is the national president of the Nigerian Association of Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers, speaking extensively on gas pricing and, of course, how it affects Nigerians and our expectations as we move on. Thank you so much for joining us live on the show. We appreciate this.
Thank you.